Dear students, our next practical class is drug therapy in liver disease. So, prescription of a drug in a patient with any systemic disorder should be careful, especially in those with liver as well as kidney disorder. Here we will see few important points about the drug prescription in a patient with liver disease. Now let's see the role of liver in the drug therapy. As you know from the drug metabolism, liver is the major site of metabolism. You know all the phase 1 and phase 2 steps of metabolism. There is no point in discussing further about this. So liver converts active drugs into active metabolites and later it into inactive products. So it can be easily excreted from the body. It also converts certain prodrug into their active form. Then only these drugs can act. Most of the drugs during their administration they reaches the liver from the portal circulation. So liver is the most vulnerable organ to the deleterious effect of all these drugs. Not only that, there are certain endogenous compounds produced by the liver. For example, plasma proteins. These plasma proteins are effective for the binding of certain drugs. So if you imagine a drug having high plasma protein binding, if such a drug is administered during a person with hepatic disease, so there is less plasma protein, so the free form of the drug will be high, so which leads to toxicity of the drug. Now these are the few situations in which we should be careful as a prescriber. So if a patient presents with evidence of hepatic encephalopathy, and if the patient has liver cirrhosis with portal hypertension and variceal bleeding, and if the patient presents only with a jaundice. So imagine a patient present with only jaundice and there is no history of any underlying liver disease. In such cases you should investigate the patient. For example, you should do liver function test, serum bilirubin, all those things. So then only you may understand that the person has an underlying liver disease. So in such cases you should be careful in prescribing. These are the few physiological changes that are happening in liver disease. The first one is impaired synthetic process, which includes clotting factors as well as plasma protein. Decreased plasma protein synthesis lead to decreased plasma protein binding of drugs. So the drugs will be available more in free form, which leads to toxicity. And clotting factor synthesis may lead to severe drug interaction with certain oral anticoagulants like warfarin. So if you administer warfarin to such a patient, there is decreased clotting factor synthesis, which leads to increased bleeding. Second is decreased metabolizing capacity of the liver. If the metabolizing capacity of the liver decreased, then the metabolism of the drugs impaired, so there will be less excretion of the drugs from the body, so which leads to accumulation and side effects. Secondly, decreased metabolizing capacity decreases the conversion of a prodrug into an active drug, so there is less chances of efficacy of the drug. And the third is increased portal venous pressure, so the portal circulation as well as portal passage of the drugs are impaired. And the fourth is electrolyte imbalances. So if any drugs which has got certain effect on electrolytes, if you administer such a drug to a patient with liver disease, there is severe electrolyte imbalance and problems in patients. Now we shall see the principles of drug therapy in liver disease. The first and most important principle is drugs should be avoided unless there is actual need. Second is avoid all the hepatotoxic drugs, example rifampicin, isoniazid, tetracyclines as well as erythromycins. These drugs we know they are producing hepatitis as their side effects, so you should not prescribe such drugs to a patient already having liver disease. And the third principle is avoid all prodrugs which are activated in the liver. So these prodrugs need the conversion into an active form by the liver. So if you administer such a drug to a patient with hepatic disorder, there is no conversion of these drugs. These are accumulated in the body and there is no therapeutic benefits, and sometimes they may lead to side effect. Fourth principle is avoid the use of drugs that generate toxic metabolites. For example, paracetamol. In normal cases, paracetamol metabolized to produce a toxic metabolite NAPQI. N-acetyl parabenzoquinolamine. In usual cases, this NAPQI is conjugated with glutathione by the help of liver and is converted into a non-toxic material and is excreted from the body. But if you administer paracetamol in normal doses to a patient who is having liver failure, this NAPQI is accumulated. That means there is not enough glutathione in the liver to conjugate this NAPQI. So accumulated NAPQI leads to further deterioration of liver as well as renal functions. And fifth point is avoid the drugs having high plasma protein binding ability. In liver failure, there is decreased production of plasma proteins. For example, serum albumin as well as alpha 1 acid glycoproteins. So if you administer drugs having high plasma protein binding ability, there will be decreased binding and the free form of the drug is available in the plasma. The free form of the drug is responsible for the actions. So there will be exaggerated action as well as toxicity. For example, the drug is diazepam. Next principle is reduces the dose of drugs which are metabolized by the liver. For example, propranolol, morphine. So if you administer morphine as usual amount that is used in a normal patient to a patient who is having hepatic disease, that is accumulated in the body. That means that liver cannot handle the normal doses. So in such cases you should reduce. Then that liver may handle the reduced amount of morphine. And seventh point is reduces the dose of drugs those having high first pass metabolism. As you know, first pass metabolism or pre-systemic elimination means the metabolism of drug which before the drug reaching the systemic circulation. The main site is liver. So we have different drugs having high first pass metabolism: lignocaine, hydrocortisone, testosterone, labetalol, isosorbate, dinitrate. So to bypasses the first pass metabolism, we are either using in a high dose, that means through the oral route we are administering in a huge amount, or we just bypasses the route, that means subcutaneous parenteral routes are followed. But if you don't know that the patient is having a liver failure and you are administering a huge dose of labetalol, but in such cases there is no first pass metabolism, the drug as such reaches the systemic circulation and produces its effect as well as side effects. So in such cases the dose of the drug should be reduced. Avoid the drugs which are excreted in bile. In a liver failure patient, the production as well as the normal drainage of bile is impaired. So if you use a drug having excretion through the bile, that drug will be accumulated and produces its toxicity. For example, cefoperazone or ceftriaxone. The ninth point is oral anticoagulants should be avoided in patients with hepatic insufficiency. In hepatic insufficiency, the production of clotting factors will be reduced. So if you use any anticoagulants in such patients, these anticoagulants goes and inhibits the existing clotting factors. So there will be increased risk of bleeding. And the 10th point is dose of CNS acting drugs should be reduced in hepatic failure patients. So in hepatic failure patients there is risk of hepatic encephalopathy and coma. So if you use any CNS depressants like opioids, sedatives or anti-seizure drugs, there will be enhanced sensitivity of these drugs and that may precipitate hepatic encephalopathy and coma. The use of certain anti-motility drugs or antacids which contains aluminum or calcium should be careful in those patients with hepatic failure, because these anti-motility drugs or antacids containing aluminum or calcium, they may promote constipation. So there will be accumulation of toxic metabolites and which may lead to hepatic encephalopathy. And the use of diuretics should be careful or try to avoid even if possible in a patient with hepatic failure, because it may lead to hepatic encephalopathy and coma. The use of diuretics are associated with hypokalemic alkalosis. So in such situation there is conversion of ammonium ion to the ammonia. So ammonia may cross the blood-brain barrier and affect the CNS, which leads to hepatic coma. To conclude, liver is the major site of metabolism of drugs in our body. So in any liver disease, these drugs will be accumulated and there will be exaggerated response as well as toxicity from these drugs. In other cases, there will be inadequate responses. For example, prodrugs. Prodrugs are not converted into their active form, so there will be therapeutic failure. So try to restrict or avoid the use of drugs in case of liver failure. And if you want to use a drug in liver failure, use the appropriate drug and in an appropriate dose. Thank you.